iCloud. Hello, right, hey guys. Oh my gosh, so nice to see so many of you on. Okay, so if you haven't used Zoom before and you haven't been on a training before, at the bottom in you've either got a chat box or you've got participant box. As we go through, feel free to click on the chat box and pop any comments or anything you want to say. You've got that opportunity to do that in that box at the bottom. So feel free to chat in there. I will do my very best to answer everybody's questions. If there's any questions, I know that some of my directors are on here tonight, and they will also answer your questions as well. So I'm sure they will be able to get back to any questions that are on there. So if you've got any questions, feel free to literally stick them in the box. I have made it so you can't unmute yourself, but there will be a little bit of time for questions at the end, just because it just makes it a little bit easier. You're also going to be hearing from Nicola Wilson tonight, and Kirsty England, and hopefully Tanya Allwood, if she's on here. I haven't seen her on here yet, but I'm pretty certain she can drop a little hey in the chat box. If not, we'll do her last. So, but you're going to hear from me first, and then I'm going to hand over to Kirsty for a little bit, and then hand over to Nick, and then Nick's going to hand over to Tan. So we'll go from there. So you're going to hear a little bit from everybody tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about time management. It's probably the one thing that I get asked about the absolute most. How do you manage your time? How do you fit everything in that you need to do? I don't know how you do it. Honestly, I hear these sort of things all the time, okay? All the time. And especially as you start to promote and you become, moving up the business and you start to move up the higher levels, obviously your workload increases slightly because you start to get more teamies. So therefore your teamies are going to need a little bit more of your time, because ideally for you to hit those promotions only work when you're working with your team. It is as when someone says to me, I really want to promote, I say to them, well, you've got to go away and you've got to work with your team. You've either got to work with your team or you've got to find a teammate. It's one way or the other. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say I have got my time down to a T. At this moment in time, I'm going to be really brutally honest with you, and this is probably going to put some people off being an SSD, but I'm going to be as real as I can be with you all. At this moment in time, I'm probably working 18-hour days, I would probably say. But that's being honest with you, my pay is reflective of that at the moment. And that's because I'm addicted to this business. I literally have got a passion for it. I have to make myself take time away from it. I literally have to physically make myself take time away from it. So I am going to go through a few systems with you. I have tried every single system. Some systems have worked for me, some not so much. Obviously not now. It's a bit more, I'm a list person, I'm a list kind of girl, but I'm going to go for a few systems which I think for you guys, some of you are going to be returning to work, so therefore some of you are going to be going back to being lash technicians or nail techs or teachers, or some of you are going to be going back to doing all these wonderful jobs that you do. So things are going to be shaking up a little bit, because you're going to have, at the moment, you've had all this amazing time to dedicate it to your Scentsy business, and all of a sudden you found this new passion, hopefully, and new love for it. Or you might be brand new to this business and you've joined during lockdown, and therefore for you it's been amazing because you've literally hit the ground running because everybody's at home and everybody's watching. So what's it going to be like when everybody's returning to work? I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't got a crystal ball, but for me, I want every single one of you to be able to keep the momentum that you've grown in this business right now, and to be able to keep that running and keep that growing and keep that momentum going, because honestly, at the moment, our growth as a group is insane, honestly insane. So I'm going to hopefully give you a couple of systems that might work for you. Some of these you're going to go poo-poo. I'm never going to do that in a million years. That's fine. Every single one of us that are going to talk tonight are going to give you a slightly different perspective on time management. Some of us absolutely wing life every second of the day. Some people like a little bit more organisation in their life. It doesn't really matter. This business works in every way, shape and form for every single type of person. And as I say, it doesn't matter if you wing everything. I'm a winger, always have been. I wing everything, to what I'm going to wear every day, to what my kids are eating most days. I've tried doing a meal plan this week. Honestly, I should bring my meal plan up and show you. The first 2 days, I haven't fed my kids what I even wrote down to feed them. That is me. But that's my life. My life literally runs at 100 miles an hour. I wouldn't have it any other way. And at the minute, I'm very happy with it being like that. Yes, I'd like to be a little bit more organised. I'm not going to lie. So Okay, so I'm going to talk you through a couple of systems. I'm going to share my screen as well, so I can actually talk you through 2 of these particular systems. But I'm just going to talk, first of all, just a couple of tips that have kind of worked for me when I'm having a period of my time which is really, really busy, and I've sort of thought to myself, actually, I need to do something because I'm physically not going to be in earshot. So when I was working 2 days a week as a teacher, one of my biggest tips for you, and I've already talked about it in the squad today, was about scheduling your posts. And if you've never hit that schedule post button, you need to go and work out how to do it. There's a little button at the top. You literally click on schedule posts. You can design your whole post. You can design posts for up to like 2 or 3 weeks in advance, and they literally will just play for you. You haven't got to do anything. It does it all for you, and you will even get a notification saying your post has been scheduled in your group. So if you know that you're going to be working, if you know that, say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, your work days, on Sunday night, sit and schedule your post for every single one of those days. If you get time during that day to stick a selfie in, or, you know, a picture of you driving to work and saying, I'm at the day job today, or a lifestyle post, or even just a Bitmoji saying, like, how's everybody's day? That's amazing. You can do that in real time. But if you are going to be going back to a different job, and you know that your hours are going to be completely difficult for you to actually be able to, you know, physically service your customers, then at least have something present in your group. Laura and I have talked about this a million times. This business all works on consistency, and working with time management is going to give you consistency. And that's hopefully what these systems are going to help you with, because just by scheduling your post, it's like, basically, imagine you've got a favourite shop. Let's say, for example, I love going to Ruby Rooms in Lee, for example. They've got opening up. Actually, no, I'm going to change it. Me and Laura love to go to Cafe 11, okay? If you've never been to Cafe 11, you need to go and check it out. It's in Rayleigh, does really healthy food, does the most amazing pancakes. We love to go there. So Cafe 11 opens, and they've got set opening hours every single day. Now, we didn't realise it wasn't open on a Monday, so we have rocked up on a few Mondays before because we didn't read the opening hours. However, that aside, that's me winging life as per norm. That aside, if that had weird opening hours, like, for example, they only open 9 and 10 one day, and then another day they open 2 till 3, and then another day they didn't open at all, and another day they didn't open till 5 o'clock. What's going to happen is customers are going to stop going there. I'm going to stop going there because I'm like, I haven't got a clue when that place is open. It's the same with your Scentsy business. If you're scheduling posts to post 3 or 4 times a day whilst you're at work, whilst you're, you know, out and about, whilst you know that you're having a really busy time in your life, you schedule your posts, your business is always going to be seen as open. I have had people come to me and say, oh, I'm not buying from my consultant. Can I buy from you? Because I don't think they sell it anymore. Yeah, not a problem. So I make a sale. Once I get to know them, I will ask them, you know, who was your old consultant? It's come up in conversation. They've dropped names in a conversation before, and I'm like, they're still a consultant. It's where they haven't opened up their shop window for 3 or 4 days, a week at a time. And then they still expect people to say, do you know what, I'm going to go and buy from that consultant. You need to be giving them content. Even if it's flyers, if that's all you can muster, then do it. My biggest tip for schedule posts for people that need time management is a day when you've washed your hair, a day when you're feeling good. And you've probably heard this tip before, so I apologise if I'm repeating myself. Change your outfit 3 times. Go and take pictures of you with as many Scentsy products as you can around the house. Selfies, okay? Save them in the selfies folder. You'll get a selfies folder if you've got an iPhone. I don't know about Android. I've got a selfies folder that comes up, and they're saved. I put them all in a folder, and on days when I need to schedule posts, I go back to my selfies folder, and I literally scroll through, and I go, right, I'll have that one, post it on that day, boom. I look like I don't know how I've done that. My emails have just come up by themselves, which always worries me. And that way I've almost, you know, I can schedule something that makes it look like I'm actually there. I've had people go to me before when I've delivered something, oh, you had a different top on earlier. Yeah, I got changed, but I didn't. It was just literally where I had that stack of images that were there. They were there to use, but actually I've just saved myself a hell of a lot of time. My hair was washed that day. Another day it's scraped up on my top of my head and I look like I've just got out of bed. So that's a really big top tip of mine. Okay, so schedule your posts. Something that I'm starting to do, and you guys are seeing in my 7 days. So my team at the minute, we're doing like a 7-day boost for sales. and I'm planning my social media. So using this 7 days, I've literally, and this was a tip I got off Tam Richards, and I was like, that is never going to work for me, but it actually does. So it might well be, as you're planning your social media, you could take a blank calendar, have your blank calendar ready to fill out. And in fact, the book that Kelly bought me, did I bring it up? I think it's downstairs. She bought me this book that's like whole pages, like in my planner. So they're like this. And the book's literally like whole page month views all the way through. But what I've started to do is actually plan in my social media. So in that book, I'm doing, like, for example, on the 1st of July, everything is going to be about pod systems. So I'm doing Scentsy Go. I know that I'm going to be posting about the mini fan diffusers, etc., etc. This day, number 2 is going to be like customer appreciation. So tagging my customers in like different things. 3, target marketing on certain wax bars. When you actually plan out your month, it makes it a lot easier for you to think of content. I get a lot of people that say to me, how do you know what to post every day? And I'm like, well, I don't really. I don't take inspiration, because I'm not on anybody else's pages. I'm on 1 or 2 of my directors' pages, but they don't come up in my timeline because I don't wish to see Scentsy in my timeline. I have unfollowed a lot of Scentsy pages. Doesn't mean that I'm not in them. I'm still in them. I can still go back into their pages if I need a little bit of inspiration, or I'm having a day where I'm like, I need an idea. But I'm in a few of people's pages, but not many. And purely for that reason, because I found myself looking at what other people were doing, comparing the whole time. I found as well, when I was in loads of Scentsy pages, it zapped up my time because I start scrolling through Facebook, scrolling. I've actually turned my news feed off recently, but that's another story altogether. That is another story altogether. But starting to plan your social media. So thinking about what you're going to post on each day, have it planned out in advance, have that calendar stuck somewhere. 1, it makes it really easy to schedule your posts because it's planned. 2, it just makes you feel a little bit more organized, and you're like, oh, okay, so I'm literally just looking for content today that's about my Twinkle, like glittery warmers. So I'm just going to post the Twinkle, the cream diamond. I'm going to post this on £61 warmers, or it might be another day Scentsy systems, for example. It just gives you a little bit more focus. Okay, so let's talk systems. So this is my first, okay, so they're my little tips, and I'm sure the other girls are going to share some other bits. Right, I'm going to share my screen with you. I can't guarantee it's going to work. So if it doesn't, can you see that 5x5 system? Fab, we're getting funds. So this actually isn't my system. I can't take credit for this. This comes from Tam Richards and Stacey Boignet. You guys have met them, both of them, before in here, but this system works for people that maybe are not working their business on to not a high level, but maybe for those of you that are looking to just get a little bit of consistency in your business, that you don't have a huge amount of time, you want to do something every single day, but not necessarily be literally spending hours and hours. So this is called the 5x5. It's a daily method for your business. Okay, I will put this sheet, I will probably redesign it as it's not mine because I feel bad just putting Stacey's, I'll ask her first. But I will put this in the group tomorrow. So this is how it works. You've got the days of the week down the side and every day is there, okay? These are your things that you're aiming to do across the top. So number 1, is to try and add 1 new contact or lead to your contact list on that day. So it might be, for example, that you have gone to your local co-op and you've gone to buy your shopping, like I did the other week, and I have my Scentsy hoodie on, and the guy said to me, oh my God, you sell that thing called Scentsy, because obviously I've got my branding on, another time management thing. And I said to him, yeah, I do. And I gave them a business card. I literally gave them a business card. Now, in hindsight, I should have taken his number and then messaged him and added him to my contact list, because then I've got that contact to go back to the whole time. But that first thing is to try every single day, or is to try and add just 1 new contact to your group. Just one new person to your group. So that might be asking your customers for referrals. And literally, it might be that you send out 15 messages to referrals on a broadcast, and we'll talk about broadcast lists in just a minute, and one of those people messaged you back and says, oh, I'm going to add my cousin in your group. Boom, you can tick that box. I've added 1 new customer. I would make a note in that box of their name. I think that's quite important. Make a note in that box. Okay, number 2, choose a product a day to review on social media. So for example, What have I got in front of me? No product, always the way. I've got nothing. I used to have hand cream. So you might pick that on Monday, you are going to do hand cream. So you might do some posts surrounding hand cream a couple of times, and then you might go live, and that you might do an actual live review of what you think the hand cream's like in terms of its consistency, its smell, how long it lasts on your hands. You get a review, you know to do that. So choose one product to do a review on. Now, it may well be that you actually haven't got time to do a review, so you message some of your best customers that you know will put a review in there for you, and hopefully they will stick a review in your page for you. Boom, because that's got them posting for you. You're not having to actually do the posting then, okay? So choose a product on that day and then review it. The next day is to follow up with at least one person. So at least one customer that's bought from you, you're going to send them a message. Hi, Susie, how was that hand cream that you bought? What did you think of it? Did you like the smell? Susie's going to come back to you. Hopefully she's going to say, yep, I absolutely loved it. Blah, 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 blah. Product done. Fingers crossed. Susie might even say, yes, I absolutely loved it. Can I buy one for my mother-in-law as well? Yes, Susie, of course you can. You get the idea. Okay, so one contact per day. And the same with this. So one host or join conversation per day. This means that once a day, you are going to ask one person, and it can't be the same person every day. It's got to be a different person. Although you might go back and you might follow up with that person maybe 3 or 4 days later. But you're going to ask one person to either host or join. So host means to basically host a party. Host a party, host an online party, host a bingo party, host a borrow bag, or one join conversation, which means you're going to ask someone to join your team. You're going to ask a customer. Now, if you do this every single day, that means you would have had 7 join conversations in 1 week. Potentially, you would have asked 7 people to join your team. The more conversations you have, the more people you ask, the more likely you are to get one yes. One of our tasks this week was to ask someone to join your team. And Katie Fenson went away and she asked somebody to join her team and they said yes. Okay? They said yes. And that was all I asked her to do, was just go and ask someone to join your team. She did that, and boom, she got a joiner. And then the last bit is 10 minutes of personal development. Now, your personal development could be to read a book, okay? So I have got a range of books here at the minute, so we were discussing books this week. So it might be that you read one small chapter out of a book, for example. It might be that you watch my training that I've put in the Scent Squad for that day. It might be that you literally find something on YouTube that you find really inspiring and just watch 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 days to watch a training that might be over an hour long because I literally watch it in chunks. So 10 minutes. Now, doing all of these things is probably going to take you how long? How long? Put in the chat box for me. How long do you think that's going to take you to do every single day? If you was to do that every single day. How long would that take you? How long would it take you to add one new contact, or at least send out the messages, to choose a product to post, to follow up with one person, that's sending one message, to have one host or join conversation, and 10 minutes of personal development? So it's going to take you a minimum of 10 minutes. How long do we think? Come on. Thanks, Penny. 30 minutes, Penny thinks. An hour, Karen. Less than an hour. 20 minutes, Mary. You've got the idea. Depending how quickly you work and depending how focused you are, you literally could do that in under an hour, okay? You could do that in under an hour. And if you did that every single day, you're basically opening up your business in 5 whole new realms. Now, some of those things, I'm going to ask you to be honest with me in the chat box, okay? Be honest with me. Hands up, or just say, yes, me, or no, not me. If you do all of those things every day, or whether you might spend an hour following up with, say, 30 people, and you might get the same response or nobody responds, but it takes you an hour. Which are you? Are you somebody that maybe does a little snippet of everything, or are you somebody maybe that procrastinates because you don't actually know where to start? That's me. I can sit here and go, right, I need to do follow-ups today. It gets to 4 o'clock and I've still not done a follow-up. Why? Because I procrastinate. When I know I've got to do something, I'm terrible for it, I procrastinate. So this system is literally going to allow you to have 7, hopefully, new contacts by the end of the week, to have talked about at least 7 products or 7 different social media outlets, 7 follow-ups, getting into contact with 7 different people. Again, that's going to be 7 conversations that you're going to have. If you're really clever, you could follow up and add a contact at the same time, because you literally can follow up with those 7 people or that one person and then ask them to refer somebody as well. Okay. 7 host join conversations. If you ask, hands up who's asked 7 of their customers to join their team this month. I haven't. I've probably spoke to 4 people, 4 conversations that I'm having regularly, that I'm having. So Steph, you don't know where to start. This is perfect for you. This is the perfect place to start, my lovely. So this is going to help balance your time. This is what I want to hear. Now, probably the thing that's going to take the back seat in all of this is the 10 minutes of personal development. But I would say to try and 10 minutes of personal development every single day might be a little bit tough. But if you haven't got 10 minutes every single day, I would probably put your 10 minutes together to give you an hour. Hopefully you will have a soak in the bath for an hour. Or hopefully you at least have an hour where maybe you go for a run, maybe you go for a walk, maybe you, you know, have half an hour before bed, or maybe you get up an hour earlier. I did that today. I decided today that I was going to get up, tidy my house, because I wanted to be out of the house by 9 o'clock to do all my deliveries. And it actually worked. I'm probably going to be on my back and ready to go to bed by about 10 o'clock, which is unusual for me because normally I'm still working till late, you know, coming up with different things for you guys, working behind the scenes. But this is a very simple system that is going to allow you to hopefully, maybe before you get up, you could give yourself half hour to read a chapter in a book. You could give yourself half hour to watch a YouTube training. You could give yourself 10 minutes to listen to a podcast. While you go for that run, rather than listening to your usual tunes, maybe give yourself 10 minutes of motivational magic in your ears. I've been literally watching Noor Hibbert recently. I absolutely love that woman. She literally is revolutionary. So this is a really good system. So that's one system. Now, I've seen Laura has just said about AMI. So if you've never seen that before, I'm going to just show you it briefly on here. I've stopped using it, but purely because I wanted to get off my phone. If you are brand new, I'm going to recommend that you go and download this and that you use it, because you wouldn't have established any sort of systems, and AMI is going to be your best friend. So AMI looks like this. Can you see it on my phone? Am I pointing in the right place? Can you see that? It looks like a pineapple. A little bit closer. So it looks like a pineapple. Okay, when you log into it, just so you can see, I've done a training on this and I will bump it. It looks like this. And in the bottom, it will give you to-dos. And your to-dos will be things like, so if I click on my to-dos, it has a specific bit that's grow and support your team. But then it will say connect with your customers. And when you click on it, it will tell me, check in with Leah, how she likes her recent order. It says Michael Allwood placed an order recently. Send a thank you note, but that was because I used his account. Michelle placed an order recently. Send a thank you note. If you're brand new, try AMI, okay? Try it, okay? For me, I feel like I'm spending too much time on my phone, but for you, this might be the route to go. I'm talking about paper systems tonight, but this might save you a hell of a lot of time. And when you've got lunch hours, for example, at work, this might work for you. It doesn't work for me just because I've got into habits where I'm trying to get off my phone a little bit more for me. Okay, so that's the 5x5 system. Let me just close this down and I'm going to give you, hold on, let me try a different screen, a different system. So I opened up another document. 2 seconds, let me find it. Has anyone got any questions on the 5x5 system? How well? I can't see or hear. iPhone. Have you got your oh, hold on, I've stopped resume share. That's why. That might be why. Can you see that? Thumb up, thumb down. Let me try this. Can you see that? Yes, thanks, Kirst. Okay, so this is the Power Hour form, okay? This is, the Power Hour form is on your workstation, so you can all download this. If you just literally go onto workstation and you click, you search for Power Hour, this will come up, okay? It tells you how to use the Power Hour form. There was a really good training on it that we have that I've seen as well. But just so you can see, so this is what it's going to look like. This first form, is that going to allow me to bring that back? This tells you how to use it. And then this is the actual form itself. So for every day, you would have one of these sheets printed out. So when you decide, right, I'm going to work my business. Now, a power hour really is as simple as it sounds. You're going to work your business for literally an hour, okay? In that hour, you could split your time based on 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at lunch, 20 minutes in the evening. I might do an hour. I might do half hour here, half an hour there. I might do 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Whatever suits your day. You can work it in any way you like. So what you do at the top is you're going to put your 3 goals in for the day. So it might be, for example, to dedicate some time to following up with like your customers, or it might be that you want to maybe hit 200 PRV in that day. It really doesn't matter. So you're going to put in here your monthly goal, what your current GWV is, where your current PRV is, current GWV is, just because you can literally keep and tab on this. Have your team brought in any new consultants? How big is your team? And have you personally recruited any new consultants? What you're then going to do is you're going to write in here 5 people that you wish to follow up with. So maybe Michelle, Susie, Debbie, Cara, and Elizabeth have all bought warmers from you, and you need to follow up with them. So you're literally going to write their names in the box. The next thing you're going to write in this box is 5 new people that you wish to network with. So let's say, for example, your friend Gemma could be an absolute rock star at Scentsy, so her name might go in there. You might see somebody else that's always complaining about their dog, for example, and the smell of their dog, so you're going to write her name in there. So you're going to write 5 people that you wish to network with. By network, we're talking build relationships with, okay? Not sell, but build relationships with. Check-in basically means 5 people that you're literally saying, hey, how are you? How's your bulbs? Not, do you need Scentsy? You're literally just checking in with them. And then 5 people that you would like to share the opportunity with, as in actually 5 people that you would like to contact and actually reach out to about joining Scentsy. Now, so that's your list. Okay, that's your contact list. You're creating a contact list, and your hour is going to be about working with that contact list. So vital behaviors in here. Okay, these are the things that it's telling you that you should be doing every single day. So prospecting new customers, and prospecting is going to fall into this. So basically looking for new customers. Recognizing any excellence in your team. So that's by doing little shout outs or anything that's any promotions or anything like that. Keeping up to date with the team page, visiting the training centre in case it changes, checking out the Scentsy Consultant Facebook page, looking at your news tab, and sort of just knowing who's in your upline and who's in your downline. These are all things that you should roughly be doing within your daily activities. Just a quick check-in, a quick look, just to see what's going on. Here it's going to give you a choice to write down something that you might need to improve on that comes under this. It might be that you very rarely check in on the Scent Squad, for example. You never check in and see whether there's something new. You might be one of these people that literally just writes in and quickly goes into the Scent Squad and writes a question, and then you go out again and you don't actually look and see whether your question's already been answered. So you could write that down as something that you're working on, for example. Other is like post onto your social media at least twice a day, tuning into any consultant calls or leadership calls, and a to-do list. I normally ignore the to-do list, but I normally work on this follow-up system. So basically you're writing it down, all the people that you want to actually contact. What you then do, once you've got that list and you've got that list of contacts, you spend 1 hour following up with your 5 people, 1 hour networking with those 5 people, 1 hour, not 1 hour on each, but literally you're going to check in with those people, 20 minutes on each, and then 20 minutes sharing the opportunity with different people, different pages. So I would probably say I actually prefer the 5x5 system out of the 2. This one's not, as I say, this one is basically making a list of people that you need to contact, but it's giving you that consistency. What you're going to find about these 2 systems is exactly that word. It is allowing you to be consistent. I'm just going to stop sharing there now. It's allowing you to be consistent. By having these 2 systems, It's allowing your business to literally keep continually checking in with your customers, keep continually you know, prospecting people for parties and seeing if you want to get people to join. But it's allowing you to do that in really small snippets of time. It's allowing you to work in your pockets of time, which I think is really important. And especially for those of you that are returning to jobs, you haven't got all day to sit at a computer and procrastinate and say, oh, I don't know who to contact today. If you're really clever about this, you could sit on Sunday and maybe spend some time writing out your power hours for each day of the week. And then you'll be like, right, I've got Monday's power list. I've got to get through this list. I've got to speak to all these people today. That's my job. When you've got through all of those people, you know that you've made contact. You can move that to one side. The next day you'll make contact again, and so forth. It's a continual circle, but more than anything, it's allowing you to be consistent in short pockets of time. Has anyone got any thoughts, any questions, anything that they're not so sure about? I personally prefer the 5x5 system. Again, if you're brand new, check out AMI as well, because it is a system that I think will work well for you. Has anyone got any questions on that? No, maybe. Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to hand over now to Kirsty, if she's ready. Kirsty, you ready, my lovely? Just gonna, has that allowed you to unmute, hun?
Yes, I think so.
Amazing. I'm just gonna pop you on spotlight view and I'll go and mute myself.
Apologies for the really poor lighting here, but this is like 1980s lighting in this house. Hello, so Lisa's asked me to talk a little bit about kind of how I run my business and as far as planning my time, really. So when I first joined, I was working full-time. So I joined 19 months ago, and for the first 5 months of that, I was a full-time teacher and working crazy hours. And so it was actually probably the best time that I was doing sales, because I was so busy. I was being very productive because I was working literally in my pockets of time. Back then I would melt waxes and spend all day Sunday making these beautiful, pretty samples for everybody. I would be messaging everybody. I would cram everything into a Sunday. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. Now I spread that work out, and I've decided there's certain things that aren't worth my time. Spending all day Sunday doing samples is not going to make me money. So what I do now, I'm not going to talk too much about samples because I know that Nicola's going to talk quite a lot about it, but rather than warming and melting samples down, everything just goes into a pretty bag, and that's my presentation. I don't mold it into some lovely flower or heart or anything. It literally just goes into these pretty bags. They're sliced with the stickers on, and they're from the image sharing group. As far as scheduling, so I at the moment am pretty bad at scheduling because we've got the kids home all day. I'm literally just doing everything. I've got no routine at the moment, but when the kids are at school, I will spend the evening scheduling for the next day. And when I was working as a teacher, I would work a day in advance. So I would go about my normal business. So I'd drive to work in the morning. I might take a photo of my car bar. I'd go into work. I'll have my Scentsy go on my desk. I'll take a picture of that. I'll go about my business for the day. I might put a post out at lunchtime just saying, oh, this is what I'm eating today. What's everybody got for lunch? And then when I get home, I would do like the evening post. I might do a live or whatever I do in the evening. But then that night, I would use all of those photos that I've taken during the day to schedule for the next day. So it's almost like people were seeing yesterday for me, but on that day. So that worked really, really well for me. And it would take me 20 minutes to schedule my post for the whole of the next day. Then if anything went wrong, I knew that I had time to kind of catch up. I'd make sure that my morning post was always there. So I wake up every single day. That's guaranteed. My customers, I'm open for business for you now. And I was always doing 3 or 4 posts. I probably do a lot more than that now, probably too many posts now because I've got so much time on my hands. But when I was at work, it was 3 or 4 posts a day. That was ample. As it stands now, I've just made these. I know Lisa's got something similar shared in the squad, but like the snap and share cards, these now go out with all of my orders, and I find that my customers post a lot for me in my customer group now. And what I'll do is I post pending, so they come in, and when I've got a gap within my posts, I'll ping one of those out. So I'll keep them backlogged, and then when I need something different, I'm thinking, gosh, what the hell do I post now? I'll just pop one of their reviews out, or I'll save one if I'm kind of focusing on scent packs and someone will do a review on a scent pack, I'll save that for a time that I want that. So I kind of hold the post back a little bit. These are the best things. This has been life-changing for me. I'm not kidding you. Every single person that receives a delivery from me, all of my stuff goes through the post back to Essex because I'm in Norfolk and all my customers are pretty much in Essex. Every single person leaves a review either on my personal page or on my customer group. Nobody does. And if they don't, I'll message and say, oh, hi love, just checking you got your goodies in the post again today. And they're like, oh yeah, sorry, I was going to do a review for you. I'll ping one up now. And they'll put a post in that I'll then backlog. So these are amazing. If you have time, actually make time. These are fundamental to your business because they really have been life-changing for me. And it's saved me loads of time of having to post. I said about the slicing. So I actually do have a sales focus. I have every month, I do have a focus of what I want to post, and I will think up so much. So this month for me, scent packs. So I try and post about scent packs every other day because at the end of the month, I'm going to do a scent set pack. I've done a live on this already, but a scent pack game and maybe do like a little scent pack offer at the end of the month because I don't sell too many of them. But I do try and have, if not a monthly focus, I do try and have a weekly focus of things that I'm not really selling too much of, especially at the moment when we know that so much is going out of stock. I'm focusing on those things that we do have in stock, and I'm purposely posting waxes that are currently available, and I'm popping orders in as soon as people, well, within a few days of people ordering with me to ensure they still get them. So I'm checking the out of stock list all of the time, and if cherry limeade, for example, is out of stock, I will not be posting cherry limeade until I know it's back in stock. Sorry, I've lost what I was going to say. So yeah, these are amazing. I think the main thing Lisa wanted me to talk about was the fact that I left my job teaching to spend more time with the family, and I think it's fundamental to remind yourself of why you're doing Scentsy and what you want to gain out of Scentsy. So at this moment in time, for me, I'm spending probably more time than I want to on my Scentsy business. And that's purely, like Lisa said, I'm procrastinating. I've got too much time around the house. I've got kids around me all the time. And it's like a bit of a distraction. We've done schoolwork. I've done my morning of teaching. And then I'm like, right, go and escape into Scentsy. I'm not actually doing Scentsy a lot of the time. I'm flicking through Facebook. I'm umming and ahhing about messaging that person. And I'm wasting loads of time. But when the kids are at school, I'm really focused. So I make sure that I spend 2 hours in the morning because I can, because it's my full-time job, doing Scentsy. So I'll have at the beginning of the month, it'll be my plan to get, recap on last month, set all of my goals. And I always make sure that when I'm setting my goals, I don't just look at my PRV, my GWV, my TWV, how many joiners I've had, but I also look at what went well for me and for my family. So I'll make sure that if I found that I had particularly wasted time on something, so it could be that I decided I wanted to do a certain sample and I spent loads of time ordering the stuff, putting the samples together, sending them out, and then I didn't get any sales back from it, I'm going to think, well, actually, was that worth my time? So I'm always evaluating how I'm actually spending my time again, and I don't bother doing the things that don't make me money. So I think that's a bit of a learning process, but I think that we need to make sure that within this business that we don't get sucked in too much. I'm like Lisa, and I'm an all or nothing girl. So I'm in Scentsy and I'm properly in it, but that can't be to the detriment of your mental health and to the detriment of your family, because ultimately a lot of us, our goal is to do this, to have more time for family. That's what my goal was, to spend more time with my family. So I have to reevaluate that, backtrack. I know that the end of the month is crazy. And so my husband knows that. He takes the full reins on the last day of the month, and he knows it's going to be, but you have to make sure that you're giving yourself those breaks within. So this week, for example, we've decided as a family, we're having a holiday week. It's lovely weather. We're not doing schoolwork, and we're having a family week. And so when I'm doing posts, I'm doing posts before I go to the beach in the morning. And then instead of posting about Scentsy, I'm actually posting in my customer group what I'm up to. So my customers know every day we're down at the beach for 2 hours paddleboarding. They don't message me at that time, but I do get messages later on saying, oh, it looked great down at the beach. Like, oh, we want to come visit you. It looks amazing. And so although I'm not selling Scentsy with my customer group, I'm building those relationships with my customers, and it actually gives me something to talk to them about. Because obviously at the moment, all people are talking about is, oh, how's lockdown going? How are you coping? This is something like nice to talk about, and it's a different way of engaging. And then I'm actually opening up with conversations with customers that are then reaping back with orders, because I'm messaging saying, oh, how are you doing? Yeah, we were down the beach. I thought you went to the farm. How was that? And it's kind of opened up other questions, other situations with customers, rather than all being about Scentsy. I just think it's all about managing your time, as in what you want to get from it. Not everybody, I don't get involved in everything that's offered to me. I think, right, okay, I can deal with that and I can't deal with that. At least I know that I'm a little bit of a awkward one when it comes to certain things, and I fully go in with supporting everybody. There's certain things I think, actually, that isn't going to work for me right now, that isn't going to work for my family right now. And you need to know, you need to kind of balance that with how it works for you. So yes, there's managing your time. Yes, there's making sure your customers are happy. My priority in this first is customers, along with my family, and then everything else comes after that to me. And my team are amazing. They know that, you know, I've got my son at home who's autistic. I've got my daughter at home all the time at the moment as well. And they're very understanding that if I don't get back to them straight away, there are other systems to go through. They know they go to their sponsor. I've got a frontline messenger group that people communicate within, and I don't need to be in that. They're helping each other and supporting that. My team's sharing my team group all of the time, sharing ideas, absolutely amazing. So I think it's kind of encouraging other people to step in and support you as well. So I think that's really important, not just to be focusing on what you need to do, but what people around you can do with you and for you as well. I think that's it. I think I'm waffling, Lisa. Oh, I make sure I turn my phone off at 9 o'clock to my team.
Sorry, oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I love all of your pictures that I've been seeing of you down by the beach. I think that if that's one thing that you take from this, guys, is it doesn't need to be about Scentsy. I think I've recruited most people and brought most people into this business when they've seen that I'm going for breakfast and where I'm going to the gym. I literally tell my customers all of that stuff. So your customers 100% want to see that. And I think at the end of the day, that's how you've married Scentsy and your life together. And I think that's the beauty of your business, Kirsty. I think it's just boomed because people are seeing that amazing life that you're making for yourselves down in Norfolk. So I love that. I love it. And I think that's a big thing, because you don't have to be coming up with content all of the time. You don't have to be coming up with Scentsy content. So I love that. It wasn't my fault. It's brill. Is Nick ready? Nick, I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to give you the option to unmute. Let me just find you. I know that you're nervous, but don't be. Ask to unmute. Has that unmuted you, hum?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You know, I'm not very techie. I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I got to do?
I'm doing it all for you. There you go. You're on the big screen. I'm going to just mute myself, because otherwise I'm sitting there nodding away and talking to you all and you can't hear me. So, over to you, Nick.
Hi, everyone. Right. So I don't really know what I've got to give tonight, because Lisa sort of said how we're changing, and obviously, you know, the last couple of months have been absolutely crazy. It's been really, really busy, and you know, it's changed, and it changed in a way that we didn't think it was. So now people are starting to go back to work. I think we're going to see some change again. Is it too dark? Should I turn the light on? Are we all right? Is it too dark? No? Yeah. Turn the light on or not? Hang on a minute. Not that that's any better. That's a little bit better. Right. So things have changed again, and now I've got a light there. Anyway, and it's just how we're going to adapt again to change. And so we've just sort of been discussing what we've been doing differently. And what I find, I am a bit of a winger, and I've just, you know, and I think that's the beauty of Scentsy, is that you can, you know, I promote, and how I get my team is by saying you can do exactly what you want when you want. There is no pressure. I'm not going to start saying to my team, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to put this many hours in, because we all do that differently. We all work completely different. You know, we filter down what we do, and if you like it and you do it, then that's great, and if you don't, you don't, and that's fine. So we all do things completely different. And what I'm finding is that you sort of wing it because you can. You know, if I someone phones me up and says, oh, do you want to go out tomorrow? And I was actually supposed to spend the day sampling. I'll go, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going out. And that's the beauty of this business, and that's why I'm doing it. So I am a winner. But I have started to do systems because obviously it is my full-time work now. And obviously I have a team. And so, you know, I am working full-time on it, albeit full-time is still from my home, from my phone, when I want. Today I've been to the park. This morning I went to my mother-in-law's and we had lunch. So I've sort of not done anything today, really. A couple of follow-ups, that sort of thing. So sampling wise, I have decided to be a little bit more organised. And so I'm trying a new system, which is really, really working for me. So I'm trying to sample with purpose, as opposed to just winging it and thinking, getting an order in, and my order comes in and I think, oh, I've now got to get some wax together, do this. And I'd still do it and I'd put it all out there, fine. But I'd have no note of what I've given people. I tend to send out the same waxes or waxes that I like, which I think we all fall into that category. We all, you know, we all have our waxes that we love, and they tend to be the ones we send out, which is, you know, naturally we're going to. I rarely buy a wax that I don't like and send it out, but I'm starting to change that. I'm now, when I've got my credits, I'm looking through the list and thinking, oh, do you know what have I not done? Bang, I'm going to get that one. And instead of getting 1 bar, I can now get 2 bars. So that's quite a lot to sample through the month. And I'm trying to perhaps keep 1 wax that I'm going to sample to everybody through the month, which is great. But I have customers that might buy 3-4 times a month. So they're going to get that same one. So I've got a little system. This is the same book that Lisa had, except that I fell down the stairs or I dropped it downstairs, so that broke. But this book has been an absolute godsend for me, and I will be getting it next year, and I would recommend everybody to buy it. It was about 30 quid, but it's superb. It is a Scentsy one, but it's just got so many things in it, and I literally, it is my sort of Bible now, apart from my order book. This has got everything in it. And so, you know, Lisa's given different sort of systems before about follow-ups, and I have got those, but I was finding that I wasn't doing anything because it was like, that was in that book and this was in this book. And so I wasn't keeping it up. I'd start it and I'd never ever sort of carry it on. So for me now, everything is written in this book. It's just falling apart because I've lost the front cover. So I now, every time I get an order, I write down the customer's name here, the order type, so whether it's a website order or a Facebook order, or whether it was someone that I got from a referral, I list that down. If it's a new customer, I literally put new there in red and a star so that it highlights straight away. I can look, you know, down my list, and straight away on that page I've got 3 new customers, on there I've got 2 new customers. So, you know, straight away it's easily identifiable how many new customers I've got, and they will be my focus to make sure, you know, if I'm waiting on an order, bang, I want to get in there, you know, I want to message them and say, really sorry, it's delayed. So I've just got a little bit more control over what I'm doing. And so that was with the new bit. And then I've got samples, and I've written down what I'm actually sampling. So in the orders, obviously this was 1 order here. You're not going to be able to see it because it's too small. This was 1 order here. I've ticked it to say it's all been delivered, and I wrote what sample I gave them. So I actually gave them a Jammy Time wax, Pink Jammy it's called, so it's a mixology one. So I give them that, and I'd given them Scentsy Fresh. So they all got that. So when I now do my follow-up, I can literally say, oh, you know, hope you liked your order. What did you think of the mixology sample I sent you? Or have you used your Scentsy Fresh yet? And I try now to leave my follow-ups with a question, because we all have the people that don't message us back. Please don't think you're new to it and you think, oh, I've sent out, 20 messages today, I've only got 4 responses. That happens to all of us. Just because we're directors, just because Lisa's a superstar director, or she's been doing it 2 years, or I have, doesn't mean that everyone answers us back. We still get those people that ignore us. But that's fine, because what's important to us, it's not important to them. But when they want their wax, they'll call me. And I know that. I know the ones that I will never see again because they just keep ignoring me. But Do I stop messaging them? No, I don't. I carry on, because I've given them the option in one of their messages saying, hi, just going through my mailing list. If you'd like to be removed, I've noticed that you've not had wax for a while. If you'd like to be removed, just let me know and I will remove you. They don't answer it, sod it. They're going to keep getting a follow-up and I don't care. So they all get their follow-ups, but I leave it with an answer, so that with a question, so hopefully that they do answer. So my samples have a little bit more purpose. Instead of just blagging it and thinking, oh, what have I got? I'm going to throw one of them in, not knowing what I'm giving. There is a little bit more structure to it. And I've only been doing this the last few months, but for me, I'm really keeping the tabs on it. And I used to use Maven, or AMI as what it's known as now. And it was brilliant. I really, really liked it until the shipping sort of changed and we started ordering on our PWS and through open party links and things like that. And I'm finding now that I wasn't using it very often because I wasn't putting the customer's details in, because I was doing an order on my PWS. So I wasn't getting the prompts coming up saying, oh, you need to follow up with this person and this person. So I just thought, actually, I'm paying, I know it's only £6 a month, but that £6 can go towards samples. And I'm paying it for no reason. I'm not really getting anything back from it. Whereas this, I'm finding, I'm a little bit of a pen and paper girl. Some people love spreadsheets and computers. I don't. I sort of frighten away from that. This is working really well for me. So that's what I do, and that's how I keep my system. Now, I tend to now do it in bulk, because if I find I get my order and then, you know, it just delays getting my order out. So I think, actually, I'm due a really big order anytime now. It's not shipped yet, but I know it's coming. So I want to get organised, and I'm thinking, right, what can I order? I keep all my things in these sort of bank bags. They're like thick plastic. So this is, I done this just yesterday, I think last night. Just got a bottle of Scentsy Fresh, and there's 40 in there. Literally 40 samples, all done in one go. Printed out all of they're not the prettiest in the world, but you know, they do. Little bottles, label in there. It's all sealed, so if it did leak or whatever, it's, you know, in a bag. And they're all in there ready to go. Now I've got Scentsy Fresh in that one. I've got loads of them upstairs. That one's got, what is that? Oh, that's laundry liquid. So I've got loads of these all ready to go. I'm actually need to do wax because I'm short on my wax. So that's what I need to do. So I tend to now do it in bulk, because I find it, you know, I used to just go to the computer, print out one sheet, do that little bit of wax, go back, and I was wasting so much time. And now I find I might print out, I might think, right, what am I going to put? I'm going to get those waxes, so I'll print out my sheets ready for my sample cards, print those out, print the Scentsy Fresh out, the counter clean. I used that, posted that this month, got about 5 sales from one post where I'd cleaned my cooker. So I done loads of them, printed those out, put them in bottles, they all went out. And again, it's just having that little bit of a system. But I do all my printing together now, because I'm forward thinking a little bit and thinking, do you know what am I going to send out? So I do all my printing together, keep it all in a folder, and then a guillotine. It is the best thing I've bought in just, I don't know how long. It cost me 20 quid off of Amazon, and it saves me, it's just saved hours and hours and hours of time. So buy yourself a guillotine. I recommend it to anyone, because I used to sit and cut, and I'm not great with scissors. I'm left-handed and always struggle. I used to literally spend hours cutting up those bloody labels. So now I literally keep everything in here. Little concertina thing, you know what it's like, one of them. So in there, I've got address labels, I've got my director labels that I put on all my postage labels, blah, blah. Then I've got my sampling. So I've got wax for spring, summer. So they're all ready and waiting in there. They're ones that I've bought, and they're ones that I've printed out. Then I've got my mixology ones all ready to go. I've got autumn, winter ones from last season. I've got my laundry ones all ready to go. Body, I've got all those in another one, and my clean ones in another one. And then I've got my random little gifts and labels and things. So by doing all my printing like together, you know, if I'm just at the computer doing something, I think, right, let's get all them done. I guillotine them all up. So I might spend 20 minutes, half hour guillotining, but then I haven't got to do it for like a month, 2 months. It just seems that by doing it in bulk is really, really working for me, instead of just, otherwise I was finding myself running over to the computer, running back over there, going back upstairs, going to get the wax, coming down. And I just waste so much time running around, forgetting and thinking, oh, where's my bags? And I just think if I do it all in one go, it's really working for me. So I was saying to Lisa that I think I know a lot of the girls in my team, their businesses have completely changed in the last couple of months, where they've, you know, hairdressers, beauty therapists, just people being furloughed, they've had time at home and their businesses have just flourished. And it just goes to show you that obviously the more you put in, the more you get out. And it's now how we keep that momentum going. So it's getting the little, you know, these few little systems in place that can save us time. And, you know, I might now just one evening, Paul will have the telly on. You know, I'm not that interested in the TV, to be honest. And I will sit down, I'll have all my samples in front of me and I'll sit while watching telly and I'll just crack on and do that. And for me, it's really, really working. And I think for other people that are going back to work, they're not going to want to see their businesses start to sort of go down again. And so it's just a matter of keeping those little systems in place that they can, you know, keep things moving and keep up that momentum that is, you know, sort of is taken over. Because, you know, we've gained, you know, a lot more people are buying. Now, hopefully they won't stop buying, but it's just keeping them, you know, they're buying now more than what they did. So hopefully they're liking it more. So they're going to carry on buying more. And we've just got to keep that going. And hopefully it will happen. All my waxes I keep in these like takeaway boxes. So again, they don't contaminate each other. And sample packs, I keep my sample packs. I try and keep, you know, a handful of those ready and waiting, so that if I have got someone that I need to just give a sample pack to, I've always got one. You know, if the builder comes round and start chatting and he says, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I go, oh, give your wife one of them. I run upstairs, I just go and get it. So having a couple of things organised and there really, really does help. And I'm finding that it's making me feel a little bit better, knowing that I've a little bit organised, so that if my order suddenly ships tomorrow and I know I've got a big order coming on Thursday, I can think, do you know what? I haven't got much wax on the go, but they can all have Scentsy Fresh, they can all have a bath soak, and I've got things ready and waiting. So for me, it's really, really working by doing bulk samples. So what else is there? Not really much. Yeah, again, another thing that I do for my orders, I generally put in half a cube of wax now for my customers. And for sample packs, I do thinner slivers. So I normally cut a cube into 4, so that they're much thinner, A, for posting. So that's really quite thin. So that's been cut into 4. So for posting, it will go as a large letter if you've got a big sample pack. Whereas half a cube is sort of touch and go if you've got a few of them with everything else. And also they're just samples for them to smell. So you don't really want to be giving too much away. Kirsty is brilliant actually at her samples, because she does them really, really thin. I've not mastered that yet. I've not actually tried it. But she's brilliant for samples, and she comes up with brilliant flower ideas where she puts all the scents that come in one product and stuff. But yeah, so I just do, you know, I do thinner sort of samples for sample packs than I do for orders. And I always have, you know, the top sellers, your coconut lemongrass, your clothesline, sea salt and avocado, aloe water and cucumber, vanilla bean buttercream. Those ones I always tend to have the little thin ones sitting in one of these boxes, so that if I have got sample packs to send out, I tend to send out those really popular ones, those ones that just, you know, they're #1 bestsellers all the time. You know, since I've started, I think clothesline and coconut lemongrass have been the best sellers. And so I will always keep those in stock just to sample. And then obviously the people that order, they're the ones that really, really sort of get all the different scents, and I just work through really. And I did think I was actually going to work through the list. Like when we get a new catalogue, I thought, oh, shall I actually work down the list and go sort of alphabetically? I'm not sure I'm going to do that. But it's what system works for you. But I think for me, having a little bit more system with sampling and doing it with a bit more purpose and intent has definitely worked for me. So that's about it really. Is there any questions? I hope that's all right. I don't know, you probably, I feel like I've teaching people to suck eggs, but you know, probably it's nothing different to what you're doing, but you know, just we're all doing the same really, I think. So yeah.
Not at all. I think that was brilliant, and it was really informative in terms of like bulk sampling and how important it is. And I just made that 1 or 2 little notes. Someone asked about the diary. It's not actually in the success store. I did just check. I think it's sold out really quick. But when it goes on sale next, as soon as it goes on sale next year, guys, we will literally rave about it.
Yeah, you've got to do it because it was the best thing. And like they have got, like what Lisa showed, the month, the thing like that. And I think we said about this the other day, Lisa, didn't we, about scheduling your social media posts. Because I have to say, in the last month or two, where my life has been pretty boring and I haven't been out and I haven't done much, I found that I'm telling everyone, make it lifestyle, make it personal. And I actually haven't done that as much. That's really slipped. And I've really been naughty, but I'm aware of it. And it's something that I need to work on. So even us directors, even us people that have been doing it years, still have our things where we fall down on. We're not perfect. And it is something that I know I really, really need to up my game with. And I've got one girl in my group who absolutely amazes me. Her Facebook is superb, and that's Lauren Warner. She is absolutely brilliant. And I watch her Facebook every day, and she's amazing. So I need to take some lessons from Lauren because mine has slipped.
So Jenny's just asked, when you do wax samples in bulk, do you need to keep them flat? I ideally, Lauren, would just Jenny, is suggest
like that.
Yeah, and you keep all the scents that are the same together in some sort of airtight container, because I have had, say, coconut lemongrass in with honeymoon hideaway before, not in the same bag, when I used to literally just throw them all into a box. All together, my boxes are over there. And I found that some of them, I was pulling them out and I was like, oh my God, that smells like coconut lemongrass, or that smells like clothesline. So if you just keep them together in some sort of airtight container, that will help.
I even find in these bags that they can contaminate. If you've got like clothesline, I find will contaminate anything, and especially well, if people are using these for water whiffs, that will contaminate everything. So I literally, they don't cost a thing. Every time you get a takeaway, keep these. These work really, really well for me. And I've got about 20 probably, all stacked up, all with my different waxes. And it actually works really well for me. And I never put them normally in my sample bags until they actually go out. So I run upstairs and just pop them in, because I do find that if they're stuck in there, they are going to contaminate. So I do tend to keep them in the boxes until they're needed.
I love the amount of people that are saying on the chat, I'm going to have a takeaway tomorrow so I can get some takeaway boxes. I love that. Nikki's also asked, do you take note of what your customers have ordered previously, and do you then change the sample you give if they've already had it before? I think you said you do that. You try and do that best you can.
We'll do it if they've had it recently. Like I know, I might send out aloe water and cucumber, every sort of spring I send it out, because it is just, I absolutely love it. It comes in a lot of different products as well. So it's always good to send out things that come in many different products, because there's more chance that if they love it, they're going to buy it in something else as well. So that's always something to bear in mind. If you're starting out, have a look through your catalogue, and, it's simple on that back page where you've got all your list. See where all the most dots are, and where the most dots are, you want to think, oh, do you know what? I'm going to get Amazon Rain's sample, because that comes in absolutely everything. So you can sort of send that out and say, this is also available in so that really, really works well. But I know for a fact, probably all my customers will get that every single year, but I will give that. But if they've, like that person has ordered from me twice previously in the month, and I look at that and think, oh God, they had Scentsy Fresh last time, I might give them a Scentsy Fresh in just another scent, or I will just give them something else. So that system does break a little bit, and it does throw me a little bit, because I think, oh shit, they've had that one already. So I've always got something to hand. I've always got a bath soak or something. I'll just throw something different in.
Oh, love it. So I'm just gonna add as well, there was just a couple of things that come to mind when Nick was talking about sampling. Is, at the beginning of the month, that's a good time to maybe just do one order if we can, but it doesn't work for me because I like to order quite a lot. But one order for Amazon, for example. So at the beginning of the month, if you check out okay, what bags do I need for sampling? How many bags have I got left? Have I got for my orders? Have I got enough tissue paper? And try and do maybe one bulk order of things like that once a month, maybe twice a month at most, rather than, you know, every time you've got an order come in, oh, I'll order a few more bags. Order in big, like order 500 small little bags for your samples at once. Order 100 sheets of tissue paper. Yes, I know storage is an issue. Trust me, I've got Scentsy in cupboards, I've got it in boxes, I've got it up in the wardrobe, you name it, I've got it everywhere. When I get my office, it's going to be like amazing. But trying to sort of maybe do that once or twice a month, and then you're not waiting for things. You can get stuff out as quickly as possible. One of the other things that did spring to mind as well is about using the post office online. So if you've never done that before, the click, drop and go and have a look at it. It makes it so much easier because you don't need to go in a post office. I haven't been in a post office since lockdown. It's been brilliant. So, and you can literally find those. I know there's one in Wickford. I'm pointing that way because it is that way. One of those post office boxes, you know, that's got the pull down thing and you can actually put your parcel in it. As long as it's not too big, you can literally send anything without even going in a post office. So just another little idea for you. Right, we're going to go over to Tanya now. I know she's on. I was going, is she on? And she is on. So I'm just going to unmute you now, Tan, and she's going to finish us off. Are you there, Tan?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry, it didn't come up.
Let me just spotlight you, and then I will mute myself.
Right, okay, so obviously the girls have been telling you about how organised they are, so I've come on to tell you how unorganised I am. So I've got one of them fabby dabby doozy diaries. I love it. Well, a couple of months I've loved it because I filled the things out, and then this is this month. Blank. Okay. I am so unorganised, it's untrue. I've got no samples made up. I've got no sample packs, no join packs. I've got nothing made up. I wish I had that folder, Nick. That folder is like, that is a dream. That is a dream. I'm gonna, when I come to your house next, I'm going to steal it.
Honestly, have one.
I would love to be that organised, but that is just not me. So I kind of put myself under pressure when I know for a little while I haven't done sample packs, advertised sample packs for a little while. I advertise a blank envelope. I advertise an envelope, let people think that I've got them ready, when in matter of fact I actually haven't. So I put myself under pressure by advertising these things, because then when people start asking me for them, I think, I know now I've got to go and make them. You know, I could sit there for ages. I wanted to make the Friday friendship boxes. I wanted to make them for ages. I see Kirsty talk about them, loved them. For ages I didn't do them, and I thought, I think it was on, I actually posted it on Thursday thinking it was Friday. I posted them on Thursday advertising them as Friendship Friday boxes. This was last week. I advertised them. I made one. So I sat there and made one box and I advertised them on the Thursday. I kind of got away with it, but I advertised them on the Thursday and I had one made up. I've got to make 6. So we're now, what day are we today? Tuesday. We're Tuesday today. It's Wednesday tomorrow. I've got to make them boxes because I've got 6 people waiting for them. So I've told them I've got them and they're ready. Matter of fact, I haven't actually got any. So I'm going to sit tomorrow and make them. But I put myself under pressure because if I hadn't have advertised them, I still wouldn't be making them this week because I know I haven't got no one waiting for them. If I do exactly the same, join packs. I must have spoke to Lisa about making a join pack and talking about my story in my join pack for months. I didn't do it. I advertised them. I had loads of people ask for them. I knew I had to get on and do it, and I done it. And I think I sent something like 15 join packs out. I done the same with sample packs, advertised them, had loads out. So look, okay, this is proof that it works. So I advertised sample packs. And this was all my sample packs and join packs that people had asked me for because I advertised for them. I haven't advertised for them this month at all, and I've got none to go out. So tomorrow I'm actually going to advertise them again because I haven't done them for a long time, probably 6 to 8 weeks. I haven't advertised no sample packs. I'm going to advertise them tomorrow because then I know that will make me get on with them. So if you're a little bit like me and a little bit unorganised and a little bit like just wing it and do it as and when people say to me, or I say to people in my team, have you advertised join packs? Have you advertised sample packs? And they go, no, I haven't got any made up, so I can't. I'm like, no, advertise them. If you advertise them and you don't have them, it will make you do them. So that's my advice for anybody that is not organised, anybody that doesn't have anything ready. If you advertise them, you've got to do them, because you can't tell people you're going to send them something and you don't actually have them ready. Lisa also said to me about systems. I don't think I have any systems in place, because I wake up one morning and I think, right, I better do that today, or I better do this today. But we spoke about borrow bags last night, and I suppose it is a little bit of a system. So I've always been quite good at getting borrow bags out back to back to back. And the way that I do that is when I actually have someone that has a borrow bag, generally that person that has that borrow bag has been referred to me by a customer. So any of my customers, I will say to them, you don't have any friends that don't buy Scentsy yet, that you think would like to borrow my bag, do you? Generally, they say, I do actually, I've got a couple of friends, blah, blah, blah. And then when I lend the bag to them and I make now a connection with them via phone, Instagram, text, whatever it is, I then ask that person to refer me onto their friends. So I don't actually ask people to have my borrow bag. I don't have to advertise my borrow bag on my page, on my group. I don't have to advertise it anywhere, because my current people who have my borrow bag actually get my borrow bag rebooked out for me. And I find that works really, really well for me. And that is what I also tell people in my team to do. If you've got a borrow bag with somebody, see how they're getting on. I let them have it for 48 hours. And then I find out, do they like it? Are they going to order? Once I know they love it, I then say to them, is there any of your friends that you think would also like Scentsy? And 9 times out of 10, that borrow bag is booked back off for someone else having a borrow bag. Also, what I wanted to say on sampling. So although I don't ever have anything ready, every month my orders go out with a scent of the month. So that is probably another system that I've got in place. Every month, all of my customers get a cube of the scent of the month. Again, they get a whole cube. That is just, again, because I'm not organised and I haven't sliced them in half and I haven't got them all prepped and ready. I literally unbox my order. I have all the 6 packs that I bought that month. I have them all sitting there, and I literally break it off, put it in a bag, put it in my orders. So all of my customers every month get a cube of the scent of the month. And do you know what? I would say I'll probably sell at least another whole 6-pack of a scent of the month based on me doing that. So that really works well for me. I think that's it really, unless you wanted me to cover anything else, Lise.
No, that's great. I literally wanted just to show the other side of the spectrum, because I think all of us, which you do that, you definitely embody that first time. Honestly, all of us, I think people can look and say, oh, they're a director, they're a star director, they're a superstar director. They've got all their scribbles in a row. They have everything working for them. They're really organised. Their orders look amazing. And like I said to the girls yesterday, it took me best part of nearly 3 hours to get an order in a bag, samples in a bag, stickers on bags, you know, tissue paper in bags, folded them all up, wrote their names on the tags, designed a new tag because I realised I'd run out. So I think from the outset, we can show you all of these systems and say, look, you've got to work out how to manage your time. But the bottom line of it is, I think we'd all like to be a little bit more organised. And I think in this business, you're never going to be that. I don't think you show me someone that has everything down to a T. Actually, it frightens the life out of me. I'm never going to be that person. And I definitely am trying to be better with my systems. And what I really want you guys to sort of learn from this more than anything, and what I want you to take away from it is there are lots of systems out there that can really improve your business whilst you're working. You know, it's just finding the things that work for you and then making that work for your business so that your business doesn't shut down. And I honestly that's the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this is, right, how can I find a way to still be able to do what I've done in lockdown, still be able to bring in amazing PRV, get my borrow bag out, book parties, do all of those things, but still maintain my job? Because at the end of the day, your job is, at the moment, what is going to be bringing you in your bread and butter money. That's going to be putting the dinner on the table. But also, it can't be at the detriment of your family. And I think just speaking to everybody here, that everybody works differently. Every single one of us here work very, very differently, but we also listen to each other and we take ideas from each other and we take little bits that work well for each of us. And I think more than anything, you can't physically do everything. And that's, you know, I've just seen Beth just put there in the chat, embrace the chaos. And it really is, it is about embracing the chaos. And it's about not trying to do everything, but take the thing that works for you. And you might listen to all of this tonight and go, none of that resonated with me, none of that's going to work for me. Actually, I need to be, you know, I need to do my business XYZ. And some of you might be the most organized people in the world, and you've got lists and you've got systems and you've got all your samples out, and you probably don't have a messy table like me when I'm putting my orders together, because it actually looks like a bomb has gone off on my table. If anyone else's table looks like mine, I'm going to post pictures of it next time I do my orders, because honestly, it looks like someone's got all my stuff and just gone, and it just is, there's just always stuff everywhere. But this is the beauty of this business. You can make this work for you in any way, shape or form. There's so many ideas out there. There's so many different things that I can show you, you know, even down to just organising your personal life. And I am not a fine one to talk, so please, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. And I know that there are people out there that think I really do have my shit together, but I really don't. Tanya will tell you, she has seen pictures of my house and Nick's been in my house when it literally is like, there is chaos going off everywhere. But I still find
that's life though, ain't it?
It's life. It's real.
It's the beauty of Scentsy.
Yeah. And I think I am very good at putting up this smoke screen that makes people think that I've got everything together. But I'm one of those people that moves everything out of the picture and goes, quick, take that picture. Make it I am one of those, and I'm not going to lie about that. I'm going to show you some more behind the scenes stuff, some real behind the scenes stuff that's going on. But I'm not trying to frighten you off this business. But what I am trying to say is you can make this work. As I say, Kirsty was working full time when she started this business. Nick had a job. She was working part-time in a shop when she started this. Tanya was working for ground control and she was working 2-3 days a week. I was 2 days a week teaching. We've all got to a point now where actually this is our business. This is what we're doing, and every single one of you can achieve that if you just make the business work for you and work in your pockets of time, and don't try and do everything. I think you can look at all the ideas and everything that goes in the Scent Squad and think, oh my God, I need to do that. I need to do those samples. I need to get that. I need to do this. It can be overwhelming. I watch and I follow a lady called Chloe Cox that is an American consultant. I absolutely love her, and I think her ways definitely changed my business. But I've probably realised now I've settled into my role of an SSD that actually she made me feel quite overwhelmed, because I felt like I wanted to do everything that she was doing and I felt like I had to do it like that. But actually I'm really learning now that it's about looking at all these things, doing self-development, watching all the videos, and then saying, right, what's going to work for me? What is going to work for me right now? What can I take from that is going to improve my business, and doing one thing at a time. And I think that's
take little bits.
Yeah,
take little bits from different things.
If your whole in your business at the minute is that you need to grow a team, your focus needs to be on join packs. It's as simple as that. If your whole in your business is that your PRV isn't hitting your 500, so there's no point in having a teamie, then you've got to look at growing your customer base, and you've got to look at, so it's literally finding that hole in your business and then spending your time working on that productively. I can honestly tell you that scrolling on Facebook is not income producing. I'm going to show you one last thing and then we're going to go, because this has been quite a long training. I'm just going to share with you one last thing that I want to share, so give me 2 seconds. It will be, it's not there, where's it going to be? It's called income producing. I shared it this week in the Scent Squad. Have I actually saved it? Probably not. Let me just, can you see my screen at the minute? No. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to pull it up. So I shared this week, and I know that I asked you what in terms of you were doing with your time in terms of income producing. Now, those of you that are returning to work, it's really important that you understand what an income producing activity is, or you might hear them referred to as IPAs. Okay, now I uploaded this, it's in the files, you can feel free to print it off. Again, designed by the amazing Stacey Boignet. Right, hold on, let me just see if I can, is this going to share? How do I share this? Let me just, where's my little thing gone? Give me 2 secs, people. My little Zoom thing's gone and it's not letting me. Sorry, click on this. Nope. Why is it not working? 2 seconds. This worked. I've managed to get this to work up until this time. Share screen. Ah, here we go. This should work now. Right, hopefully you can. Are you now seeing like a load of chaos? See, this is what my life's really like. Right, can you see this? It's on Facebook. Yeah. Okay, so this this sheet, basically Stacey designed it, and I think it's really, really clever because it's going to tell you about in terms of what you're actually working on your business. So for example, let me just move you over there. So income producing tasks, things that are going to make you money, personal development, reading a book, okay, or listening to a training like this. This is income producing. Following up with your customers, actually messaging them, handing out samples in return for contact details. Really, really important. Hand out samples, get their contact details in return. Never give out samples to a random person that you haven't got any phone number off of. Handing out borrow bags, basket parties, having joint conversations, going live. Who hates going live? Do it. It is income producing. Handing out recruitment packets, as in like join packets, and I will post a little video to those, and I'll ask actually my leaders to screenshot your join packs into the Scentsy Squad at some point. That'd be great. Online parties, home parties, taking orders, events, fairs, fundraisers, open houses, referral programs, and delivering orders in a timely manner. That is income producing. It's going to make you money. The quicker you get an order in someone's hands, the quicker they're going to reorder. It's a fact. I've got customers that sometimes they will order with me 4 times in a month if we're delivering and we're able to get orders out quickly. They will just literally reorder because they love the samples that they're getting in their packs, and they're like, I've got to have that. You've got maintenance, you've got networking and developing, but ideally look at the time percentages. In terms of your time, if you're spending ages to developing your personal brand and, for example, making pretty flyers, making pretty stickers. Nick, how long? We spent ages on our branding at one point, and when we both looked at each other, we both went, this is so not income producing. We've just spent like 2 days making stickers, and we got there in the end, yes. And now we're a little bit quicker at doing these things. But if it's taking you 3 days to make a flyer, don't do it. Ask in the squad and say, someone got one. Don't reinvent the wheel, because there's so much out there on the image sharing groups, on Pinterest, on Instagram. There is so much out there. You've just got to ask. Don't reinvent the wheel, because you know it is something that is going to take. It's not, if you haven't got time. A brand is something you don't need to worry about. Concentrate on the borrow bags, concentrate on the online parties, concentrate on those things that are in that growth chart, because they're the things that are going to make you money, and they're the things that you need to not procrastinate on, and they're the things that you need to spend time on. Scrolling Facebook, looking at other people's pages isn't going to make you any money, and I can tell you that now. It really isn't going to make you any money. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm really hoping, I'm going to just check the chat, see whether there's, let me just stop the screen share for a minute. Is there any, you make me feel like I can do this. I love that, Steph. I need to give the twins, that's fine. You haven't missed anything, sweet. You can literally, this is now going to be on record. I am going to put this on YouTube. So this will go on YouTube, and you will be able to share it with your teamies, share it on Catch Up. But before we do that, I'm just going to stop recording. I just want to take